A friend of mine posted a photo on Instagram yesterday of romaine lettuce in the grocery store that was $6.99 for one romaine lettuce. So that's a bit wild. And it just makes me think, well, it makes me think a lot of things. But for the kind of personal home economics side of things, I just think, okay, I won't use romaine lettuce right now. That's just not what I'm gonna do. This is one of those moments where I think about how important it is to be able to be flexible and to make food with what ingredients you have, what ingredients are in season, what looks good, what is well priced in the store. And often a lot of those things go hand in hand. I went to the grocery store today and I saw that cabbage was the usual price, and it's grown locally because we have a lot of cabbage around here. So romaine is out, cabbage is in. I'm gonna make a cabbage Caesar salad or a Caesar slaw. It's more or less just to remind us all that we don't need romaine lettuce. If it's too expensive and if it's not what's happening right now, it's not what's happening right now. Cabbage is what's happening. So I have a whole head of cabbage here. I'm just going to cut it up, obviously. I don't know, maybe like, might only need a quarter or so. Look at this, such a beauty queen. I love cabbage, and it is one of those kind of reliably cheap things in the grocery store, but it's just an example of the kind of things that we can rely on, hopefully forever, for being cheap. Things like cabbage, potatoes, rutabagas. At least where I live, those things are always inexpensive. They're so nutritious, and they're really satisfying and hearty, so let's use them. I don't need lettuce. I'll wait till springtime. I'm gonna use my mandolin to slice the cabbage. I love mandolins, and I especially love them for cabbage slicing. And I picked up a little handy cut resistant glove the other day. I figured that would be a good investment because I use a mandolin a lot. And I'm just gonna slice it directly into my large bowl here. Because cabbage is packed so densely, you get so much food for this size. Like one cabbage is probably the same weight as like 4 heads of romaine or more. It's a lot of bang for your buck. I left the core on the cabbage because it makes for a really good handle while you're slicing. And then once you get to the end, you can kind of just throw that in the compost. Okay, so that's quite a bit of cabbage, and that was only a quarter of this cabbage. So that's plenty. That means I have soup material, I have potentially sauerkraut material. I've got all kinds of things I can do with this cabbage now. So I'm just gonna use a quarter for tonight's salad. Because of the texture of this cabbage, it's kind of finely shredded. I felt like it would be a little bit not quite right if we had big cubes of croutons in here. I just feel like the shape of a crouton would kind of interrupt the shreddiness of this cabbage. So instead, I decided to take some leftover bread that I had in the freezer. This is a couple of brioche buns that I've had for months in my freezer, and then a little bit of a stubby end of some sourdough. And I chopped them up into little cubes, and then I put it in my food processor and then just kind of ground it up until it was kind of a pebbly, rough breadcrumb texture. And then dump that into a frying pan, toast it in the pan with a little bit of olive oil for about 5-8 minutes, something like that, just until it gets nice and toasty. And then once it's nice and toasty, take it off the heat and then finish it by grating in a clove of garlic and the zest of 1 lemon. This is perfect because you're gonna need the lemon juice anyway for the salad dressing, so it works out. And then you end up with this really nice kind of toasty, crunchy, garlicky, lemony breadcrumb mixture that I just love. If you're gonna make Caesar salad, you've gotta have a great Caesar dressing. I made my Caesar dressing a few minutes ago. This is the same exact Caesar dressing that I use for my kale Caesar. I made a video about that like in 2018 or something, and the recipe is up on howtomakedinner.com. I just put 3 anchovy fillets or a tablespoon of anchovy paste in the bottom of a bowl, and then I add a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, the juice of 1 lemon, a clove of garlic that I grate in, and an egg yolk. And then I whisk that all together, and then I slowly stream in 100 mils of vegetable oil and a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. I don't like too much extra virgin because it's just so strong. And then I just crack in some fresh pepper. I do love a lot of black pepper in my Caesar salad dressing. And then I add some Parmesan cheese at the end. And that to me is the perfect Caesar dressing. And I think that's just about enough for this amount of cabbage, so I'll just dump it on there. The good thing about cabbage compared to romaine lettuce is that it holds up so much better. It's such a hardy leaf. So even if you put a lot of dressing on it, which I love, I love Caesar salad dressing, but I don't love it on romaine because it's so wilty and it just gets like soggy. But with cabbage, it really holds up. So you can afford to kind of dump on extra dressing. Not that that's any better for our waistlines, but hey, we're eating Caesar salad. That's not really what this is about. This looks delightful. Because this is a little bit pale, I'm just gonna add in some parsley leaves. You know I love my green variety, so I have some fresh parsley here. Might as well throw it in. Just kind of roughly torn up. Just to give it some kind of bright, vibrant green color. And some nice fresh flavor. Looks good. Oh my God, it's perfect. Perfect amount of cabbage to dressing. I'm just gonna dump in some of these breadcrumbs. Toss it all together. And I'm okay with them getting a little bit soft, although we are gonna be eating this whole salad right now. I hope you guys aren't bored of seeing this same plate over and over again. I feel like it's my only fancy plate. I should really think about getting some more dishware. That's a good start. So, just top my little portion here with some extra cheese. And a few more toasty breadcrumbs. This is, come on. I think I might make all my Caesar salads like this now. Oh my God. It's so good. Well, this is a hit for me. I'm a huge fan. And of course, there are other greens you can use for Caesar salad. You can use kale. It's very common, very popular. But try cabbage. It really, really works. All right, and that's how to make Caesar salad on a budget. I hope you like this idea and I hope you give it a go. This Caesar salad dressing recipe is 10 out of 10. It's the one that I use every single time. And let's just hope that cabbage stays cheap and that the world starts calming down soon. Thanks so much for making Caesar Slaw with me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode and I hope you found it useful. See you next time.